Hello, wonderful person. Aaron speaking, and in this video, we will be talking about area. Area is just a total, I can't say area, it's a total space within a two-dimensional figure, whereas perimeter was the distance around one. Area would be the space within one. So to calculate the area, it's just a matter of applying the correct formula for the correct shape. So we have triangles and we have rectangles. And lastly, we have circles. Each of these formulas should be on your formula sheet. So, but you do need to know how to apply them. So when it comes to a triangle, the area is going to be half base times height. Or sometimes you might see base times height divided by 2, which is the exact same thing. For a rectangle, it's going to be base times height. Whereas for a circle, it's going to be pi r squared, where r is the radius of your circle. Now, when it comes to a triangle, you do need to keep in mind, you do need to figure out what the base and the height is. So what is it? The base is just going to be one of the sides, so that's generally the easier part to figure out. However, the height is always going to be the height from the center of the base to the vertex that's opposite of that side. So make sure when you're doing the area of a triangle that you don't use two of the sides because the other side won't be the height, with the exception of a right triangle. And I'll draw a right triangle for you just so that you can recall. They should be indicated with the box, but whenever you have a box at the end of a triangle, it means it's a right triangle. And when that's the case, then one of those sides could be the base and the other side could be the height. So here you could just do the area of that is just going to be half that base and then that height. However, this is the only time where you could use two sides of a triangle to calculate the area. Other than that, refer back to this image where it needs to be, the height has to be the distance from the center of the line to the opposite vertex. With the rectangle, those are the easiest. It's always just going to be two adjacent sides. And that also applies for squares. In area, you might be given a diameter. So if you do have the diameter, make sure you divide it by 2 because that's a common mistake people forget to make. But other than that, the rest of it is just plugging the radius into the equation. Now, sometimes you might have a weirdly shaped two-dimensional figure that's none of the above. Whenever that's the case, it's just a matter of breaking it up into simple figures that you're familiar with. So this figure that used to look like an L, I was able to make it into two rectangles. And then here you could solve for the area after figuring out what the length of each side is. Same thing if you had something similar to, let's say, a trapezoid. If you have a trapezoid, you could simply break it up into a rectangle and a right triangle. So if you have this, the length of this side, then you have the length of this side. And that's going to be the height of the right triangle and also one of the sides for the rectangle. Thanks again for watching. I hope you learned something and stay awesome. Have a nice day.